There's an old saying that you can't polish a turd, and the same goes with camper vans. It's very easy to fall into the trap of buying a van with a funky paint job that looks great, but underneath it could end up costing you a fortune. Firstly, make sure to check the service history. And secondly, it's always beneficial to get a mechanic to check the van over if you're not too sure. The best camper is the one that you'll use the most. Nobody wants to set off on their adventures with a van that might not get there. Although, at least if you do break down, you can still make a cuppa. The short wheelbase, like we have here, versus the long wheelbase is a debate that divides the camper community. It's nice to have the extra space inside that the long wheelbase gives you, but if you're using it as your everyday car, the short wheelbase is a much better everyday package. They manoeuvre better and they just about fit in a standard parking space, whereas the long wheelbase will leave its booty hanging out, and that's never a good sight. There's a reason why the short wheelbase drastically outsells the long wheelbase. It's because it makes a much better everyday package. However, if you have another car and you're just using your camper for camping trips, the long wheelbase may be worth a look. There's a good reason why the vast majority of camper vans have the traditional side kitchen, rear bed layout. It gives you good seating for 4 people if you swivel the seats like this, and a quick and easy to pull out bed with plenty of room for 2 people. However, although it works for the vast majority of people, there are other options for layouts depending on how you're going to use your van. You can have a rear lounge, but it does mean you get a smaller kitchen, or you can have a big long side kitchen with a bench on the other side, but that does mean you can only have the front travelling seats. But if you do have only the 2 or maybe 3 seats in the front, it can limit how you use your van, especially if you're using it every day. There is no wrong layout, there's just the one that suits you best. But bear in mind, when it comes to moving the van on, the traditional side kitchen will be much easier to sell. Adding the ability to stand up in your van is something that most people would find essential, and this is usually done by a pop top. I always tell people the biggest difference they'll find with having a pop top is getting dressed in the morning. Unless you're a contortionist, the morning routine is something that's quite difficult to do when you can't stand up. On top of that, if you intend to use your van on days where the sun might not be beaming, a bit like today, it's quite nice to be able to have a place to retire to and stretch your legs away from the weather. Just make sure when you're buying a roof for your vehicle that you buy a good quality one. Unfortunately, the boom in the camper van industry over the past few years has led to quite a few poor quality roofs hitting the market. With it being such a big part of your conversion, it's really not worth cutting corners here. Just make sure to go to a reputable company like ourselves who can show you that safety and quality are high priority. No matter what your situation, a camper van is a big purchase. It's something you buy with your heart to fulfil our deep-rooted desire for adventure. The last thing you need is for it to become a headache. But you need to use your head and make sure that you've got reassurances that your van has got a warranty. Don't let some backstreet cowboys ruin your dream. Make the right choices to ensure you can sleep soundly at night.